Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Please rise for the national anthem.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Sophia. Je vous salue en français. Bienvenue à la cérémonie de déménagement McCall 2025.
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम आदित्य यादव है। मैं हिंदी में बात कर रहा हूँ। मकॉल 2025 स्नातक समारोह में आपका स्वागत है।
Γεια σας, το όνομά μου είναι Αλεξάνδρα Πεζάρης και σας χαιρετώ στα ελληνικά. Καλώς ήρθατε στην αποφοίτηση 2025 του McCall. Cześć, nazywam się Aleksandra Pizarys i witam Was po polsku. Witamy na uroczystości ukończenia szkoły McCall w 2025 roku. مرحبا، أنا اسمي نور هلاسة. أهلا وسهلا في تحديد الصف الثامن في مدرسة مكال.
大家好，我叫 Caleb Sloy，5年8年级毕业见。
Buonasera a tutti, mi chiamo Via. Visto vi sto accogliendo in italiano, benvenuti alla cerimonia di laurea. Grazie.
And this is a greeting in English. So last night, I entered the following prompt into ChatGPT. I said,
Please write me a speech I can deliver at the start of an 8th grade moving up ceremony. Please make it meaningful. Please make it funny. Add in a couple of pop culture references and also sprinkle in a couple of teenage slang. And so this is what ChatGPT would like to say to you 8th graders. Good evening, iconic 8th grade class of 2025. What's good? Welcome to McCall Middle School's Moving Up Ceremony, the season finale of your middle school journey. You made it through locker jams, you made it through homework, tests, group projects, you made it through hallway traffic that moves slower than the internet during Taylor Swift presale. Somehow you did it with style. This year you grew in confidence, in kindness, and in height. You learned when to raise your hand during English class, or when to just vibe and wait it out. You supported each other, you cracked each other up, and sometimes you slayed it like Kendrick Lamar during the Super Bowl halftime show. As you move on to the high school, keep showing up with that main character energy. Be bold, be real, and never forget that your story is just beginning. We're proud of you, we love you, let's run it. The ceremony starts now. Thank you for clapping for AI. This is what I would say to you. Congratulations, 8th graders. You made it up to the moving up ceremony. This morning, we were in the assembly, and we talked about what's going to happen tonight. So you know you're supposed to show up at 6 o'clock or before. You know to find your seat with your name on it. And you know to make good decisions, because everything you do doesn't just affect you, it affects everybody else. And we care about everybody else. So make good decisions tonight. After the assembly, a couple of people asked me, Mr. Lin, has anyone tripped and fell during the ceremony? And the answer is yes, people have tripped and fell. And I can speak to that in first experience because I have tripped during the moving up ceremony. Tripping and falling are things that can happen to all of us, especially during times when we least expect it. We may not always be able to control whether we trip or fell, but we can control what we do next. So when you do that, I suggest you get up, you keep walking, maybe you tell a joke like, hey, that was a good trip. See you next fall. Next year at the high school, whether it's Winchester High School or any high school you go to, you will stumble, you'll encounter hard classes, new challenges, bigger decisions. Sometimes you'll trip, and that's okay. What matters is you're going to get up. So tonight, as you walk across that stage when your name is called, walk with confidence, and you may trip, but that's okay. You just laugh it off, and you keep on walking, and you might want to say, hey, I had a good trip. See you next fall. 8th graders, you got this. Now I'd like to introduce Jovic Stachowski to the stage.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jovic Stachowski. Before I begin, I want to thank Mr. Lin for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight, along with all of the English teachers who helped me find the right words, especially Ms. Thompson. And most of all, thank you to everyone for being here tonight. It truly means a lot. From the mornings when the hallways echoed with rambunctious laughter, it sometimes felt like walking in the opposite direction of 100 bison, to the afternoons when the bells rang felt like both relief and a reminder that time was marching forward. Things here at McCall Middle School start to feel like a home. And it isn't until those last few walks through the halls that one realizes how fast time has gone by. I, for one, have been reflecting on how much we, the students, have learned and grown. We learned that curiosity isn't something you'll find on a test. It's the fire that starts every discovery off. It's what led us to ask why the world is made of atoms, why stories matter, and why something as mundane as, can someone help me, could open doors we didn't even know existed. Here I've definitely done my fair share of exploring. But by far, art has been the thing that has spoken to me the most. I've learned that creativity thrives in mistakes, in a brushstroke we didn't plan, in the wrong color that turned out just right, in a crumpled piece of paper, smoothed back out again. And I learned that blank canvases are only scary if you let them be. I like to sit back and watch other people's lives and see them grow. Hear McCall as our theater kids finding bravery in their borrowed costumes and scripted lines. Or the more sporty kids figuring out what it meant to be part of a team. Here we've all learned that stepping into another character's shoes might be the best way to step out of our own comfort zones, and maybe even get to know our peers better. Throughout our time at McCall, we learned about one of the most important tools for getting through life, resilience. We became experts at hanging in there when our sneakers wore down, when pencils snapped and fear set in because we forgot to study. We discovered that a failure is only a setup for a return, whether on track or in life. We learned to fix our own mistakes by literally taping paper back together, or emotionally supporting a friend on a bad day. Sometimes we felt invisible, like a marked wall that everyone passed by, and sometimes we wished to vanish. And sometimes on the best of days, we felt gigantic, like the entire school was applauding. But each emotion became part of mine and your middle school string of memories. Each late night group text, each inside joke shared, each high five in the hallway, added brushstroke to the painting of our lives. I personally learned how important it is to persevere and stand up for yourself, along with being able to tackle your life on your own. But I make sure to never forget how nice it can be to have a friend. Here at McCall, we didn't just memorize facts and dates. We learned how to speak up when our voices trembled. We learned how to ask for assistance when our burdens were too heavy. We learned how to say, "I'm sorry," and "I forgive you," realizing that kindness could heal more wounds than any Band-Aid. We learned that leadership is not about the loudest voice. It's about the one that listens and lifts others up. And through it all, the challenges, the triumphs, the scraped up knees, and the deafening cheers, we made it to the end. There is always that kid, a sled, that was always there for the random student who needed encouragement. With that being said, life isn't perfect, but hope is undefeated. And McCall has made that clear. So here we are, ready to take a step forward onto the stage of high school. Naturally, we want certainty. We want a map, a guide, a recipe for success. But it wasn't having all the answers that made McCall Middle School so unforgettable. It was learning to ask the right questions, to turn empty pages into masterpieces, to make music out of moments no one else heard. As we move forward, remember, hard work isn't glamorous, but it's the engine of all success. Creativity isn't a resource a lucky few possess. It lies in each of us, waiting for our mistakes, our risks, and our accidental strokes. Resilience doesn't happen overnight. It's forged into every moment we choose to show up again. We're stepping into a wider world than we ever imagined, paintbrushes in hand, and the future calling for us to create. It's exhilarating, and yes, a little frightening, there's no doubt about that. But remember this, the most original thinkers never fear a blank space. They see it as a possibility. Now, it's impossible to know how any of our futures will be like, or paths we'll take for ourselves, but I do know that even though this chapter of our lives is ending, middle school's rhythm lives on within us. And the next chapter of our lives begins the second we raise our brushes and begin again. Thank you.
That was Ojovic, no AI. As part of the ceremony, we would like to take the time to honor 3 retirees. And these 3 retirees are very special to me because these are the first people I've met. Some of them I have met during my first week as principal of McCall Middle School. 2 of them I met even prior to becoming, before I step into this position. The first retiree I'd like to honor is Ms. Kimber. I met Ms. Berg before I even arrived at McCall because she was on the principal search committee. I remember my first visit to this building, and I was asked to meet with all the faculty and the parents. And of course, it was rather nerve-wracking because these are folks that ask me a million questions, and I was hoping I can answer half of them. So Ms. Burke was the person that escorted me from the main office to the library, and I still remember this as if it happened yesterday on the walk-in, knowing that I was nervous. My first first thing she said to me was, "How are you doing? You'll be okay." My role as a principal is one where many people comes up to me and give me problems to solve. Miss Berg gives me problems to solve, yes, but most of the time when she talks to me, she'll always begin with, "How are you doing? How can I help?" And that's what she says to pretty much everybody that she meets. Ms. Berg does help. During her time as instructional coach, she has assisted countless teachers and students to get better at what they do. Ms. Berg covered numbers of classes when we're unable to find qualified substitute teacher. I'm still absolutely amazed by the fact that she was able to cover a Spanish class for 2 months when she can't speak one word of Spanish. Ms. Berg, you are submit, so please come on up and accept our congratulations. Mr. Phil Doucette. I heard about Mr. Doucette before I even met him. Before I step on to my office for the first day, I had a meeting with then Superintendent Dr. Evans. I asked her a couple questions from McCall, and one of the questions is, what are some of the staff I should know about? Who are some of the people I should meet? And he said, you should meet this guy. And he is so good with kids that he was invited to be a guest speaker at one of the 8th grade moving up ceremonies. Of course, I'm thinking that Dr. Evans was talking about a teacher or a counselor, but she was talking about a custodian. Mr. Doucette can often be seen during the school day interacting with students. He'll high-five students in the hallways or sit down with them and have lunch with them. He understands that having positive relationship with students help them thrive academically and as a person. Mr. Doucette is a Marine veteran. He has served honorably, and his contribution to the school, to the Winchester community, and the country is commendable. So, thank you, Mr. Doucette. Please come on up. I'd like to honor is Miss Grace Tripp. Miss Grace Tripp, I did meet during my first week as principal in McCall. I learned during that week that the district was running a training center. And I understood. Co-teaching is something the district held very dearly. And so I decided to attend. It was around 4th of July, so not a lot of teachers were there because that's a time where people go on vacation. So I chatted up McCall teacher that was in attendance. So I asked Ms. Tripp, so you're going to be co-teaching next year, huh? And she said, nope, I'm not going to. And I laughed, and I come to learn that Ms. Tripp loves to learn. So whether she's co-teaching or not, she is going to want to learn about what co-teaching is about. I've come to learn that Ms. Tripp is a traveler, and she loves learning while she's traveling. She has a lot of stories to tell, and she understands that our differences are not our life. Ms. Tripp understands our diversity. Ms. Tripp is not here today, but let's give her a round of applause to congratulate her. Congratulations to Ms. Berg and Mr. Doucette. Yep, thank you. This morning we have a chance to give out team awards. And this is the point in the ceremony. We'd like to give out 2 awards. Each year the school presents these 2 awards to 2 exceptional students. The first is the Evander French Humanities Award. This award honors Vandy French, who served as McCall's principal from 1984 to 2010. It recognizes a student who consistently demonstrates excellence, hard work, character, and integrity. The following has been said about this year's French Award recipient. The student is the type of person who puts others before themselves. She has never been afraid to speak up on behalf of others. She truly cares about her friends and classmates. She works to make everyone shine, making her shine even brighter. Polite doesn't even come close to describing the student. This award recipient has always come to class with a positive attitude, great energy, and a fantastic smile. She doesn't count the days, she makes the days count. This year's award recipient is Lily Warner. The other award that we like about is the Miss Matilda Ligon. Miss Matilda Ligon, a former assistant principal in McCall for 10 years, and a dedicated advocate for justice and community service. This award is given to a student who consistently demonstrates self-respect, respect for others, and a strong sense of citizenship. The following has been said about this year's award recipient. This eighth grader truly exemplifies the core values of respect and citizenship associated with this office. At the beginning of the student which challenges adjusting to the McCall community. This award recipient went out of her way to ensure that the students felt welcome and included by supporting her in multiple classes and inviting her to join her group during lunch. Student on the team, somebody so welcoming, kind, and considerate food. This student must be able to evolve. This spirit Benikoff. So with that, I'd love to invite the singers to come up on stage and perform Homeward Bound. Thank you, Jubilations and Heritage Singers. Thank you, Dr. Shane, and thank you, Ms. Grozek, who accompany the singers on piano. Thank you very much. Congratulations, 8th grade class of 2025. Before we ring the final bell, I would like to recognize all the people that has worked so hard to get you here. All the teachers sitting behind me. So round of applause for all the teachers. I would also like to thank the MPA. So the amount of dedication to set this up, set the ceremony up, and also to support McCall Middle School for the entire year and all these years is really commendable. So thank you, all the volunteers from the MPA. Standing behind me is the next MPA president or co-president, Ms. Flaherty. So Ms. Flaherty has something to say to you.
Hi, my name is Annette Flaherty, and I will be the new McCall president in the upcoming school year with Amy Malillas. I have an 8th grader who just moved up tonight and a rising 7th grader. To the families leaving McCall, congratulations and good luck. To the families that still have kids at McCall, I look forward to meeting and working with you. I wanted to thank our current MPA president, Harry Subarni, who has been in this role for 4 years. In the last 2 years, kids, every dance you went to and every picture you took in the photo booths are because of her. So thank you, Carrie Sue, for leading the MPA with style and a wicked sense of humor. I want to come up and come on up.
Hi, thank you. I wasn't expecting this. I'm having a hot flash and blind from staring into the sun, which is exactly how I pictured this moment. But seriously, thank you very much. It was a privilege, and good luck.
Thank you, everybody. Congratulations, class of 2025. You are officially freshmen. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Have a great night. Stay safely, everybody. Thank you.